Many years ago, I had a great uncle who was an immigrant from Greece, and he spoke very little English, but he set up a popcorn stand in California at a pier by the beach, by the ocean. And he would sell popcorn and little trinkets and American flags by the beach. And that was his simple life that he lived for decades. And one of his favorite sayings was that all the vitamins from A to Z are here in the ocean air. And this is more about the air than it is about the ocean. Remembering that wherever you are right now, inside or outside, by some water, or maybe by some trees, maybe recognizing the importance of those things when they're not there, that we are all connected to this greater force of nature. The air that we breathe, the first of that being that man can live for 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, but only 3 minutes without air. That the air that we breathe is something which carries this life force energy, that we are beings which gain energy from the air, that there are chemical exchanges that happen within the body that allow us to bring more energy into the body when we practice breathing exercises or when we go out for a walk and get some exercise, that there's no doubt, we all know, benefit to getting exercise and taking deep breaths and breathing fresh air. And that in this world where the old meets the new in all kinds of ways that we're experiencing now, one of those keeps coming back to what it is to live a good life, and then connected to that, what it is to be healthy. And perhaps there's a simple connection between those things, that when we're willing to take a step back from the microbiology of DNA or of precision medicine or anything like that, where we're looking at a human being through the lens of either as a microscope, looking at us as essentially a soup of cells, or looking at us as some mechanical meat suit, that there's something more to humans and something more to our experience of what it is to heal, what it is to be healthy, what it is to be whole. All of these words have the same root: healing, health, wholeness. That there's this connection that we share, what's in classical terms called the microcosm and the macrocosm, that in alchemy it was as above, so below, as within, so without, that we are a representation of the world around us in some way, that the Buddhists would say that you, when you look deeply, are made of not you elements. The flower is made from dirt and water and sunlight and air. The human is made from connections with all of the other people that we interact with. And of course, also from the dirt which our food grows from the sun and from the air that we breathe. And of course, the water. That we are all just as interconnected as the flower. And this idea of interbeing, meaning that we don't exist in a vacuum, that even one person doing something is going to have that impact on more and more people the more intense and focused that one person is. And that this is how anything happens in society, that we believe in anything strongly enough, then it's going to snowball. And whether that snowballs into a technological innovation, like an invention, or some kind of social movement, whatever ideology that ends up being a downstream effect of some person having an experience or realization that then, like Gandhi, takes its own energy beyond that one individual, that there's a place for reclaiming our own energy and our own nature as energetic beings, that when we do acknowledge our thoughts and our feelings, that when we say that we are also bigger than our thoughts and our feelings, that even we recognize that all of that energy that's moving through us about the way that we feel about our work or our relationships or the state of the world, that there's something that is animating us and that is reminding us to take some space for our own well-being, that there's something in the holistic experience of being able to go for a walk in the woods or for a walk by the beach, and to even just sit under the stars and take a moment to yourself to remember that we are somehow here with fingers and toes and eyes and ears and a mouth and a nose, that we are spinning on a wet rock in space somewhere at the outer edges of the Milky Way galaxy, and surrounded by so much space that when you look up, there's nothing above you for light years. So there's a space for acknowledging the mystery and the wonder of life, and there's a place for acknowledging our own healing capacity and potential for regeneration, and for re-examining what it is to be human, what the human condition is, what the human potential is, and that latent power that is at the heart of every human being that we must remind each other of. That to have that agency to make your own decisions, to be able to say you are a sovereign being, to feel that sense of freedom within you, and to know that you are capable of so much more than you even know, let alone what anybody would give you credit. And that we acknowledge the value of society, we acknowledge the value of science, and we acknowledge the value even of religion, that there's a great deal of conflict in all of that for good reason, given when humans try to systematize truth and then come up with all of these different solutions that may offer a temporary fix. And so as we return back to the core of our nature and that recognition of our inner light, that we are essentially star beings made of stardust, powered by starlight, that every day this star comes into the sky and warms us up, and we are so grateful. And then all of our food, all of our air that we breathe is made from some connection to that starlight, that literally the atoms in our body are made from stars going supernova. And then we take that into account into get in the way of whatever our duties and responsibilities are in the here and now, that we still maintain our sense of self and of connection to the world around us while integrating a higher level of awareness to be a benefit to that world around us. And this paradigm shift is happening all around us anyways, and we get to be the willing participants of it. And what a great opportunity. So let this be a reminder to go for a walk outside, take some deep breaths, and remember that you are energy. Thank you.